So I've outlined my shapes. I've filled them in. I'm already beginning to establish on my shapes, and again, that's going to be hard to see through the camera because of all the white canvas, but the light's going to be coming from the left. I've decided that already, the foreground light. So I've taken alizarin crimson, burnt sienna, and yellow ochre in varying amounts, kept it darker on the shady side of each tree, and on the lighter side I've still kept it very dark, and I've added a little more yellow ochre, so it goes a little bit greener, but it's a very warm green due to the addition of the burnt sienna. Washed that in, or outlined it rather. Now I have a bit of hillside in the background. That's cobalt blue and alizarin crimson. The blue in the sky is just ultramarine blue, alizarin crimson, titanium white. And because of the technique that I'm planning on using in the sky, I'm not varying the color really too much. I'm pretty much just washing in the darker areas of the sky in just that color, ultramarine, alizarin, titanium white. So I'm going to wash that in. This center area, there will be some varieties of pink, some warmish yellow ochre, alizarin crimson, a little bit of umber. But in the initial wash-in, again, it's not going to be very bright. That will all come in when I paint the sky in. And it's when I'm painting the sky that I will be creating the design in the sky. And because the technique that I will use is laying a lot of direct brush strokes next to each other, overlapping some but not very many, it's kind of unforgiving. You don't want to make too many mistakes. Anyway, that'll be fun, but I like the effect. So that's what I'll try. That's it for now. So I've washed in the sky now, just general tones. I had sort of a rough outline of the direction I wanted this to go. I've smeared my lines. Some of this color will end up going into the blues, some of the blues will end up going into this area. It's all going to be a lot lighter than you see it right now. This is not a design I'm going to follow accurately. Again, it's, as always, or well, as often, it's just a reference for me, for things that I have in mind as to how I want the painting to develop. So I'm sort of keeping it loose. I'm not worrying too much about details. I don't want to pin myself down. I don't want to get pinned down on this has to be exactly that way and that this way. The trees, however, are quite accurate as far as the outlining is concerned. Yeah, so it's all kind of wishy-washy. Be like a politician. Mince your words, makes them easier to eat later. You can always change it and deny that it was ever the way you planned it, or you can deny that you planned it to be the way that it actually is. Or you can claim that's the way you planned it all along. I'm just going to delete this video. Anyway, I'm going to start working on these rocks down here now. I have enough information. It's going to probably take me an entire day to make my decisions as far as how the rocks go, how the rocks come together in the foreground. No, I don't delete videos. I just do one-offs. They're terrible. Thanks for watching. Okay, well, I've been thinking about it for a while, and now that this is washed in, I'm seeing, this long hill. It drops down to the right. The edge of this hill in front of these trees also drops down to the right. The largest and most important mass in the painting is this group of trees, and those are staying. Everything else I will tailor to work around these. I don't think I have to do anything else here, but these being so strong, and this hill coming down, what I'm going to need to do with my foreground rocks is have the largest mass down here on the right hand side to help counterbalance that. Also, because this line comes down, I would like to oppose it by having the sort of the face of this rocky mass catch light. So that'll be a line that helps to oppose and balance this hillside coming down. The sky is very movable. I can tailor it to however I'd like. That's my reasoning so far, but that's all I've done, sitting around thinking about it. So I've made a few decisions. And you know, I remember this area as being an old logged off area. Many people will think of that as, oh, it's ugly because it's been logged off. I see a lot of beauty in some of those areas, especially after nature has begun to reclaim the ground. And this is going to be an old stump. And I thought there's a good placement for it because while this is punching down this opening, this can punch up and oppose it. It also provides the large mass that I want in conjunction with some of these rocky structures that I have here. I'm not confident in here yet. I'll have to decide later, but I'm going to do this so far because that's what I'm comfortable with. And when you don't know exactly what to do, work on the area that you do know what to do with. So I'll just do that now. And once these strong lines are in, for myself, I find it really helps to make decisions going forward. And the charcoal sketch is a good guide, but you strengthen it with some of these lines and suddenly it can really get strong and provide some good direction. I like this rock sitting in front of it as well. Like how that came together. So I'm going to go ahead and outline the shapes on that. It's going to have shade in good places, and it's going to have light in good places. Still some remnants of roots. Practically growing out of the rock. As trees seem to do sometimes in the mountains, it's amazing. It's amazing how few nutrients some of these trees need in order to survive. There I go again, not being articulate with my speaking. All right. You know, and these are just lines. I know that I want strong lines coming down here on this corner. So these are going to be rocks. I'm pretty confident that's going to be part of a rock as well, but I might fiddle with it a little bit, reshape it a little bit. But I'll wait until I have everything else in place. And then, as usual, I'll spend some time thinking about it. Okay. I know that certain areas are going to be very dark. So I'm just going to block those in very darkly, right from the get-go. Now, I'm using this brush giving vertical strokes because when I paint it in, it'll remind me, oh yeah, you know, the side of this rock is it's cleft, it's broken off. And you're going to see some striata or striation of the rock will be vertical. And that'll be completely in the shade. So when I add hints of color, dark color, in the shady area, I will likely use vertical brush strokes. The backside of this rock as well. Pretty much going to be in the shade. It will have some color, but not much. Okay, now I'm going to run the brush through it, roughly in the direction of the shape of the rock on the backside. Again, to remind me that the backside of that rock is running vertically, and I'm going to likely lay my strokes in that direction. Okay, the backside of this trunk. Maybe that entire short piece of trunk will be dark. I'm going to throw a little raw umber in there. Unfortunately, you won't see it too clearly on the camera, but after it's stained raw umber, and that raw umber has dried a little bit, it will show up as a bit of a lighter color. To help with the colors that I'm going to want to lay in later. Otherwise we just end up with a big indeterminate blob of dark paint. I don't really want that. Put a touch of white in that raw umber now. I'm not dictating color. I'm really right now dictating value. The colors, the hues can change as the painting progresses. But now, I'll at least have these aids in place for me. More raw umber. Add a little bit of alizarin crimson to that raw umber. Add a bit of white to that mixture. Still keeping it low-key, cold, and dark, but still varying in color. Brush strokes are, again, going more or less in the direction of what the final strokes will be. because the direction of those strokes are what make up the design of the surface of the rock. Okay. Let's see here. I'm going to put a little bit of cobalt blue in that. A little white. Just a bit. Whoops, a bit of junk there. Okay, I'm just gonna replenish my raw umber supply here because I'll need a little more to finish this corner off. Raw umber, cobalt blue, bit of white. If you're going to screw up your drawing or screw up anything, now's the time to do it, because the next step is sort of your final brush strokes. So, all right, so I have this in place now. I know I have an idea as to how I'm going to go about placing other rocks up in this area. This is a close mass, strong enough to counter that mass and balance the painting that way. So, I'll leave it there for now. I think I'll just say have a good day, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.